White House is telling Politico that they're booting the Wall Street Journal from the press pool for covering President Trump's trip to Scotland on Friday.
The Journal had published a story about an alleged bawdy birthday card sent by President Trump to Epstein in 2003. Trump denies that he wrote the alleged letter.
Now, Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, says in a statement, as the appeals court confirmed, the Wall Street Journal or any other news outlet are not guaranteed special access to cover President Trump in the Oval Office, aboard Air Force One, and in his private workspaces. Due to the Wall Street Journal's fake and defamatory conduct, they will not be one of the 13 outlets on board.
President of the White House Correspondents Association and CBS reporter Weijia Jiang slammed the move, saying in a statement, quote, "This attempt by the White House to punish a media outlet whose coverage it does not like is deeply troubling, and it defies the First Amendment. Government retaliation against news outlets based on the content of their reporting should concern all who value free speech and independent media." The WHCA stands ready to work with the administration to find a quick resolution.
Trump filed a lawsuit against the Journal for their report and is seeking at least $10 billion in damages.
Oh my gosh, he literally sketches. He sold his sketches at auctions. He literally is saying this has nothing to do with him. He doesn't even sketch, already starting with a lie.
He says he didn't do it.
I know, but this is a story they're reporting, and now you're penalizing, in this trend that we've been seeing, you're penalizing the media because you don't want them to come to this Scotland trip. Like, what did you're 100% you don't sketch, but we've seen sketches. Are you 100% it couldn't have been you? You know what you did.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it seems sketchy. That's a perfect
I talked about this yesterday. Obviously with so much money at stake, they knew they were going to get sued for this. I'd have to imagine they thought it was pretty solid. That doesn't mean they're correct. Media outlets do make mistakes. They could genuinely believe it's his and have it not be. Trump could genuinely think he didn't write it and some secretary did it on his behalf and he doesn't know. There's a wide variety of outcomes this could be, but the bottom line for the Wall Street Journal's presence, yes. Do I think it's good to kick them out of the press pool? No. On the other hand, I can't, obviously, I don't think there's a First Amendment right to be in the press pool. That doesn't make sense. Like, there's a finite number of spaces on the plane that's going to Scotland. They already had
secured a seat.
Okay, but like,
moved them for who? An influencer? Like, what's the deal? Like,
well, but obviously, they get to exercise some discretion over who gets those seats because there's a finite number of seats.
And so it's like I'm in the workforce.
Okay, I don't have a seat. Am I being retaliated against?
No, because
Are you being retaliated against?
I never had a seat.
Okay, if I had a seat and then they said, actually, we want the Washington Post to have the seat, would I be my rights violated? I don't think so.
I think that if you had a seat and then all of a sudden you made a story and Trump didn't like it, so he sues the owner and you, then that, yeah. And also, the part that confuses me the most is that the Wall Street Journal is owned by Rupert Murdoch, who also was attached to Fox News and all the outlets that generally favor President Trump. So the fact that he's suing them, on the one hand, it makes me like, okay, equal opportunity.
I mean, he's been furious with Fox News all the time.
Yeah, he's suing all people. He has the same energy for all news outlets. He thinks they're not pro-Trump
enough.
But
he's thought that for years.
At the same time, I'm just confused that he's suing the outlet that definitely, I mean, outside of like Newsmax, leans towards his perspective.
He's saying they're lying. He said he didn't write that, and this is a lie.
He also said he doesn't.
You or I could do that too.
He also said he doesn't sketch, and he sold sketches at big auctions for major money with his signature on them. So like, what's
sketch of the building versus sketching of a person? We didn't. I would like to see, first of all, the birthday card. I don't know why the Wall Street Journal did not publish a...
He also said Epstein isn't really his friend like that. Well, documents, videos, they show us that they are...
They were friends, and they stopped being friends
Seems prior like a nice
to
guy.
Jeffrey Epstein's initial arrest for sexual misconduct. I think that's fine. That's also true of Bill Clinton and a bunch of other different people. The weird thing about Epstein is those who continued to associate with him following his release from prison. And that's when it starts to get, why are people still talking to him? And neither Trump nor Clinton are in that category. So,
well, I just think this sounds very much like an attack immediately, because you know what Trump does when people annoy him is retaliate. We know that that's part of his strategy, is to make everybody uncomfortable, just try to squeeze the press. Most recently, it's like, you do something I don't like, we're going to squeeze you and make you uncomfortable. I mean, I think that if the White House Correspondents Association is like, listen, what is this? Let's just review it, right? I think the American public, whether it's the influencers that he brought in or traditional news media, new media. You shouldn't want anybody being retaliated against because this is supposed to be the most free speech president of all time, right? This is the one who is accessible, that you say, to the press all the time for any questions. So even when those questions are tough or uncomfortable, or even when someone uncovers something that may make him a bit uncomfortable, even if it's historic, even if it's old news, they shouldn't be penalized for reporting a story. That's what journalists actually do. It is freedom of speech. And so, yes, they don't rightfully have a seat to Scotland. They don't have to come aboard Air Force One or, travel with the press corps to go on these trips. But also, they shouldn't be penalized if they were coming because of a story that came out. They should either just always not be coming or come. Like, I think that that's a ridiculous, small-minded tactic when you don't get your way.
Yeah, but we have to reflect how this actually works. Like, there's a limited number of seats.
No, they had a seat, Robby.
I know, but they got to make those kinds of choices.
They got to make those kind of choices based on who annoys the president at the time.
It's more than annoyed. It's they say that outlet filed a defamatory story against the White House. I mean, let's say it's President Biden, and they, decided to put, Newsmax in the press poll, and then Newsmax said Joe Biden, did something illegal or whatever, had sex with a prostitute, and then Biden said, I'm suing you for defamation, and you can't be in the press poll. I don't know that would be. I think I would say I would have left him in the press pool, but it's not a violation of the First Amendment.
But liken this more to Joe Biden and MSNBC, who generally takes his side, right? So if he kicked them out all of a sudden because one story went the wrong way and he said that's defamation when they're actually information.
Well, you might say it's petty, but this is different because they are alleging, and I'm not saying that they are right. I don't know, obviously. They are alleging that it is just defamation. This is a story that is just not true.
Unequivocally false. That's what they're saying. But we just need to see the proof. So I guess the next step for the Wall Street Journal is just release it, like you said.
Yeah.
Let's see this.
But that's not going to resolve it because.
But it will make viewers at home that are watching satisfied with something.
I hope that they do so that we can form independent conclusions. But we're gonna we're gonna be handwriting experts. We're gonna try to decide whether it looks like his handwriting. I mean. Even that
do you think somebody at the Wall Street Journal just drew it up and said, "Oh, this will be a good story"?
No, I don't think
standards.
No, I think it is unlikely that it is a malicious mistake. Frankly, I think it's not likely it's a malicious mistake either way. Trump could, again, this letter, this birthday card, is dated to 20-something years ago. It's possible he just doesn't remember doing it, and he did do it.
He's getting old. It's most people who are getting as old as President Trump may not remember what they did 20 years ago.
I don't think I would remember what I wrote in a birthday card to my best friend 20 years ago. I might have said, we have enigmas together. I don't know.
You are so empathetic in some of the most random ways.
I'm just trying to be realistic here. So I think it's possible he doesn't remember. I also think it's possible that someone just did it on his behalf without like a secretary or something, and that's why he wouldn't remember it. Or he did it exactly that way, and he's lying. That's possible. On the Wall Street Journal side, I don't think they just fabricated it themselves. I think they have intelligence. They think it's correct. That doesn't mean it is. There's conviction that stories are right that later, subsequently, it gets disproven. So
maybe
I don't know.
Penalize, an organization that planned on covering an upcoming trip because maybe you don't remember, or maybe you're lying. If those are even on the table, don't penalize a news organization that's just trying to do its job.
I know, but it's a little different than there's only so many seats on the plane.
Here you go with the seats.
There's only can't be a right to something that there's a finite number of.
Well, they should bring us now. Now that there's an open seat, who's taking it?
I guess you've been flying around too much. Like, you want to go to Scotland?
No. I think you got
Scotland nice this time of year? Is it all rainy?
I haven't been.
We'll go to Scotland. We'll go.
Yeah, we'll take the seat.
Mr. President, we'll go, and we'll have a great time. And that's what we should do. Next up, did Barack Obama say Democrats abandon young men? Did he admit that? We'll tell you more. Stay with us.